Bruce, a life transformed by dragon boating. Since my introduction to the sport of dragon boating, I was convinced of the transformative powers of this sport. My life was and continues to be transformed by dragon boating, from solo runner to one of 20 paddlers in a boat. Another life transformed was Bruce's. Bruce came to the Healers 2.5 years ago during our mid-season recruitment. From the moment I started to receive his inquiries about the sport and the team, I knew he was special. On his first day of practice, we noticed he distinguished himself. He did not make eye contact, and his verbal responses were monosyllabic. More importantly, he distinguished himself by his immediate devotion to the team, the sport, and the community. 7:30 on a Saturday morning, a streak of sunlight tried to fight through the fog over Lake Merced. Silhouetted against the fog is a big man cleaning the dock. I ran down the hill to discover it is a new paddler with a bucket and a broom cleaning the dock. This was to be the picture every Saturday morning until the last day of his life. Bruce loved this job, and like a magnet, he drew other paddlers to the task. First other Healers and then Lowell paddlers. He did not speak, but everyone knew just how he expected the dock to look by the time the onslaught of teams hit the docks at 10 a.m. A silent leader had emerged in our community, Bruce. Every Saturday it was the same. Later Sin became his dock partner, and together, without words, they did the job, sometimes with helpers, sometimes not. Sin felt that new brooms were needed. She purchased 2 and brought them to the dock. Bruce ignored them and continued with the old beat-up brooms. One day, Bruce came to practice with his camera and started taking photos of the team. During photo shoots, you can always hear the shouts of, "Bruce, get in here," or "We need Bruce in the photo." We wanted him to be with us physically. He wanted to be with us spiritually. He came to us on his own terms. In our grief, as we tried to accept his loss, we realized he was always in the shadows. Bruce became animated when he held his paddle and camera. We asked him to become our team historian. He told me he could not write, but he would record our history in photos. I accepted. He was wrong, of course. He wrote beautifully. He was my friend. He gave me several cards, all lovingly written. Bruce loved the dragon boat community. He volunteered for every boat cleaning, loading, unloading, college, youth, and sprint races, and more. He did all of this quietly and in the shadows. As Bruce became a friend to the dragon boat community, he became a friend to Ross, Macy, and me. During this time, I began to believe that the Healers were Bruce's family. He loved doing things for the team and doing things for each individual paddler. I worried about him on Sundays and holidays when he was away from his Healer family. Ross and I invited Bruce to a holiday dinner. He refused, even though he loved my food. He spoke with me a few times a week, always with suggestions on how to improve the dock, secure the shed, a new race the team should enter, or simply to pass along copies of the magazine Dragon Boat World. During the off-season, he would sit on the dock and paddle, or wait to hitch a ride on a boat going out. This is how he became a friend to dragon warriors. Bruce's transformation was subtle. It started with his telling a joke to one of the guys in the engine. He was quite funny. During our first time trials, Ross decided to give the job of recording each person's time to Bruce. Who else could do this job? He hardly talked, so we knew it would be kept confidential. However, Bruce surprised us. By the next practice, we all knew each other's time. Thanks, Bruce. Bruce continued to ride his bike to work and to practice without a helmet. It was an ongoing battle with different members of the team harassing him about getting a helmet. The more I heard about the helmet, the more I realized there was a collective fear of Bruce getting hurt. As we were becoming his family, he was becoming very precious to us. We exhibited our fears of Bruce getting hurt in different ways. I insisted he buy waterproof pants so he could not catch a cold. Yeah, I know, we get colds from viruses, but I'm an island girl. I still think you can get a cold from wet clothes and cold wind. He followed his captain's direction, got new pants, and modeled them for us. He was so proud. If you listened closely, you could hear Bruce starting to pick on people in the boat, making more jokes with the women, and agreeing to stretch out the boat. Bruce was excited about his trip to Vancouver to race. The Vancouver crew bonded and became very close. Bruce and Casey were benchmates and developed a strong bond. Casey was a new paddler and Bruce took him under his wing. It was a joke between them. The Saturday before his death, he was on his dock, cleaning as usual. I later heard he was not feeling well. I did not know this. I led the practice in the Vancouver boat, and Bruce was leading the engine and paddling quite strongly. I wonder now what my last words were to Bruce. I wonder if he got from us half of what he gave us. I wonder if we were a good family to Bruce. So much to think about, so many lessons to still learn from Bruce's examples, so much loss and grief. I still cannot believe he's gone. I still have emails from him. I miss our calls. Most of all, I miss my friend and his presence in my life. He was my friend, Macy's pal, Ross's friend, and was the team's go-to guy. He was the embodiment of what I think the ancient elders intended the sport to be: collaboration, love and respect of community, healing and nurturing of a community.